Hello, hello, hello. Once again, all my fellow patriots and you filthy leftist stalkers out there. You are listening to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. My name is Angela Box. Okay, got a lot today, but let's get the dumb housekeeping out of the way because y'all, my sad little YouTube, my fledgling YouTube has I think 11 subscribers. I used to have a YouTube with lots of subscribers, but they took it away from me. So look, my YouTube, my BitChute, my Rumble, you can follow that. It's at Angela's Soapbox. My Instagram and Twitter are at The Box That Rocks. 1X in I can't talk today. 1X in Box, 2X's in Rocks. My Facebook is Angela Box Public. True Social is at Angela Box. And when in doubt, just go to angelasoapbox.com. I'm going to be revamping the website soon. It's going to look so cool. I'm so excited. Okay. Every week on my show, I like to dedicate a sea turtle killing plastic straw to a filthy leftist, usually a filthy leftist or someone who richly deserves it. And this week it's going to, I hate to say it. Well, I don't hate to say it because you know what I hate? I hate when I have to give a sea turtle killing plastic straw to a hot piece of ass like Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI. But sadly, it has to be done. So Chris and your beautiful hair and your darling little face, it's going to you. Yeah, look, I'm such a political weirdo. Like the crushes I have on people are all political people. It's so dumb. Okay, so the reason Chris Wray is getting the straw this week, let me put on my glasses. If you haven't heard about this. So, you know, Joe Biden is getting away with probably literal murder. What the informant that could not be accounted for a couple of weeks ago, everyone was like, well, this guy's at the bottom of the ocean. That's what I said anyway. He popped his head up and he's like somewhere else. And he's saying, look, I'm not coming back to America because first of all, these charges are total BS. They charged him with some like ridiculous stuff, like saying he's working with Mossad and all these things. And he's like, this is 100% not true. He was a Biden whistleblower. He was able to say that the Biden family 100% was taking bribes, Joe Biden was using his influence, his position in order to enrich his family. And he disappeared. And he's literally like, I'm not coming back because I'm afraid I'm going to get killed. Like he said that. And the media is like, oh, whatever. Let's talk about Trump's indictment that's coming. So, all right. So here's why Chris Wray is getting the straw. Let me share my screen with y'all. Hang on a minute. As I say every week, maybe one of these days I will figure this out better. But until then, we're all just playing along. All right, here we go. FBI will bring document alleging Biden criminal bribery scheme to Capitol Hill, but a major question remains. So Chris Wray, look at this fine man. Again, it pains me. It pains me when a good-looking man gets the straw. Chris Wray, who some people are like, oh, he's a sleeper. He's really a good guy. I'm like, I don't know. That's quite a stretch. Chris Wray is basically holding back this document that Comer and Jordan have already seen. Now, Comer and Jordan are like, listen, dude, we've already seen this document that shows that Joe Biden was taking a $5 million bribe and using his position as vice president in order to enrich his family. Like, we already know what's in it, and we don't want to see this redacted version because that's BS. So let me just read you this is from The Blaze. FBI Chris Wray will allow congressional investigators to view a document related to an alleged criminal activity involving President Joe Biden. Now, he said, yeah, totally cool. I'm going to let you see it. No big deal. Totally going to let you see it. But I want you to come see it in the skiff, and it's going to be redacted. It's going to be missing a bunch of information. Now, you have to understand something. All of this information was already declassified, so why the hell can't they see it? And they're like, oh, well, we're afraid that if people see it, they're going to get hurt and killed. It's like, no, that's what you guys do. Like, we're not the ones who go and murder people. That's your raison d'etre, okay? That's your wet work. That's not what our side does. So Chris Wray is basically saying, yeah, I'll show it to you, but he hasn't yet. He has not yet. He's still dragging his feet. So guess what? Guess what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to haul this fine piece of ass up in front of a judge, and they're going to arrest him. Because guess what? They can't arrest him. Kevin McCarthy can call for the sergeant of arms to arrest Christopher Wray because he is directly avoiding a subpoena from the House of Representatives. He's being held in contempt. And because he's being held in contempt, guess what? He gets to be pulled in front of the judge, and they can throw him in jail. Now, I don't really think that they're going to go to this length. Hopefully, Chris Wray just does the right thing and gives the document over, since, again, they've already seen it. I mean, again, it's like, tell me, they're as I say all the time now, they're not even hiding what they're all about. Like, they're literally covering for the Biden administration. They're literally covering for Hillary Clinton. They're literally covering for Obama, because all of this is connected. So it's not just we're going to cover Biden's ass. No, they're covering Hillary's, and they're covering Obama's, and they're covering the entire deep state, because once one domino falls, all of them will start to fall. So here's what Representative Comer says. Boy, tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to get Representative Comer on my show. And I need to say that Turning Point USA is now a sponsor of my Saturday show, the Angela Box Show, which is on 1070 AM KNTH at 8 a.m. on Saturdays. And I upload it to my platform. So it's all there. You can go find it. But they're a new sponsor, and I'm super excited. So hopefully one day soon I will get James Comer on. On my call with FBI Director Wray, the FBI finally confirmed the existence of this FD 1023 form alleging then VP Joe Biden's engaged in a criminal bribery scheme. Anything short of producing these documents to GOP oversight is not compliance with my subpoena. So, Chris Wray, you have a decision to make. All right, you and your hot ass have a decision to make. Okay, because listen, you don't want to be held in contempt of Congress, do you? I mean, maybe you do, because you're like, again, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm covered, because that's what they think, that they can literally get away with murder and they will be covered. Now, I don't think that's going to be happening. And I do think we're going to see something happen with these documents. And I think what's going on is they are preparing, as I take this, for the next Trump indictment, because they haven't done enough to torture President Trump. Look, this should make people understand without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump is the existential threat that these people face. There's nobody else that even comes close. They aren't scared of Ron DeSantis, because George Soros is out there saying, oh, I want Ron DeSantis to be the Republican nominee. And Liz Cheney endorsed Ron DeSantis. I mean, what does that tell you? All right, so this is from Mike Davis. So this is what people think is going on, and I completely co-sign this. The FBI is now admitting it has a document evidencing then Vice President Joe Biden took a foreign bribe. So brace for an indictment soon, wait for it, of President Trump from Garland Special Counsel Jack Smith for, quote, obstruction to deflect and protect Biden. Now, one of two things is going to happen. They're definitely going to indict Trump for something. I mean, he's sniffing around. This Jack Smith a-hole is, a Democrat, hardcore Democrat donor, just like the judge in the Alvin Bragg case is a hardcore Democrat. His daughter works for Senator Knee Pads. He's given $1 zillion to the DNC, and they're like, will you please recuse yourself? And he's like, no, I'm not going to recuse myself. I'm fine. Anyway, so this Jack Smith, special counsel, his purview is, it was the documents at Mar-a-Lago, and then it was the election interference. Now, again, the gaslighting, the projection, everything that they accuse us of doing, they're actually doing. It gets mind-numbing when you have to talk to people who have not heard of any of this and who just keep hearing, oh, Trump's being indicted again? Wow, boy, he must have really done some bad stuff. Let me break this down for you. The Mar-a-Lago documents, the document scandal, whatever. President Trump, out of all the people who had documents, like Mike Pence and Joe Biden and other people, President Trump is the only president in the mix here. He's the only one that could actually declassify documents. He has said that on a number of occasions. I declassified these things. However, Nara, if you would like to have them back, I have no problem giving them back to you. They have been they've been housed in a skiff at Mar-a-Lago, which is a secured room that no one else has access to. I will certainly work with you to get these documents back, but that's not how Joe Biden's administration handled it, of course. They went in there guns blazing, just like they do to pro-life fathers who, tell some psycho abortion person to stop harassing their son, which is what happened. They send all these FBI people, all helicopters and media and all the crap that they do to Republicans, especially if it has to do with Trump. Go in there, rip up his house, look for these documents, and then they just so happen to find, oh, look what's just on the floor, these folders but say top secret. And it's like, you dummies. Like, do you think we're that stupid? Do you think we are as dumb as the people who listen to you and read your crap? No, we're not stupid. They pulled out these folders. These folders didn't have anything in them. So what they said top secret on, big deal. They didn't have anything in them. When they opened them, they're like pictures of Melania on a some event or something, like dumb. But they're going after Trump on this thing, and they're also going after Trump for daring to question the 2020 election. They're talking to this Chris Krebs guy who was in charge of CISA, and Chris Krebs is as deep state and dirty as they come. He's the one who was like, oh my goodness, no, these machines are perfectly fine. Now, remember, guys, in 2018 and before 2018, we have clip after clip of Democrats that say, there's something wrong with these machines. They can be tampered with. You can go in there and you can change the admin code. You can go in there and flip votes. You can go in there and change the algorithm so it shaves votes from certain people. I mean, we literally have, tape of Democrat after Democrat saying this. But because President Trump was questioning the 2020 election, which he should have because he won it and it was stolen from him, they're going after him for election interference. Again, the gaslighting. You want to talk about election interference? We still don't have an answer to the 51 CIA agents who lied and said that the Hunter Biden laptop was fake. We still don't have an answer for what John Durham has discovered, which was that Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the first Black president, Joe Biden et al., the den of thieves, Comey, etc., how they set up Donald Trump and invented a Russian fake P-tape, alleged Russian agent crap in order to spy on Trump and his campaign. We don't have an answer for any of that. So they're just gaslighting. They're projecting what they have done. But I guarantee you they will indict President Trump, and it's going to be soon. And I'm sure I'm going to go on Isaiah and talk about it and, be told I'm not allowed to bring up Durham, which I'm going to bring up Durham. Anyway, hopefully no one's listening. We'll see. Anyway, the point is this. Donald Trump continues to and remains the biggest threat to these people they've ever seen. Because if Donald Trump gets back in, and we've got James Comey being interviewed by Ginger Goebbels, like they yanked old Ginger Goebbels out from whatever hole she was living in now to interview James Comey. And of course, Ginger Goebbels is Jen Psaki. That's my little nickname for her because she's a ginger and she's Goebbels. Anyway, so she was interviewing Comey. And let me find this real quick before I go to break because it's good. You need to see it. She was interviewing Comey, and Comey, like with a straight face, like they know they really do think that nothing's going to happen to them ever. They think that they're in the clear. They've covered their asses. And not only that, they've got every single media hack covering for them. So they literally think nothing is ever going to happen. So Ginger Goebbels was interviewing him, and she's like, wow, what do you think about all this? Like, what's going on with Trump? I mean, what's he going to do now? It's just getting really serious. And Comey was basically like, yeah, I think that Trump is definitely still the biggest threat to democracy that we face. James Comey warns that, let me share my screen. James Comey warns that, wait for it. James Comey warns that Trump will have his retribution against the system that framed him for treason if he wins the presidency. He could order the investigation and prosecution of those he sees as enemies. And that's a quote. Like, are you kidding me? Yes, because here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike them, Trump has evidence. Unlike them, Trump has actionable evidence that he will be able to produce to say, these people overthrew our government. These people committed treason. These people need to be in front of a firing squad because that's what they used to do to traitors. So that is the reason they are scrambling in order to get another indictment against Trump. That's all this is about. Whenever you see Trump being indicted for something, just understand it is projection. It is gaslighting. Trump, to his credit, he's like, I haven't done anything, man. They have gone through his entire life. They have dug through the bowels of his life for the last 7 years, and they've come up with bupkis, okay? They've had to invent things on this guy. So look, you Republicans who are running against Trump, you are so short-sighted, you are so dumb, and you are so not understanding how the majority of the Republican Party feel. And the way we feel is this. If Donald Trump decided not to run for president this time, if he's like, you know what? I'm over this crap. I'm just retiring, whatever. That would be one thing. But the majority of the Republican Party, and a lot of Democrats now too, believe that something in the milk ain't clean about the 2020 election, to put it mildly. And a lot of us are hell-bent on that President Trump, for good or ill. Look, he's not perfect, okay? We know he's not perfect, but he's a hell of a lot better than whatever Democrat is going to be put up or whatever Never Trumper is going to be put up. So Donald Trump deserves to have his term back. It was stolen from him. He deserves to have it back. It's a sense of fairness that the American people have. The people that voted for him are like, this is totally wrong. He needs to have his second term. So all of the Republicans now, Chris Christie is jumping in, Mike Pence is jumping in, have zero chance. And, President Trump once said years ago, I would like to lose everything. I would like to lose everything in order to see who is really loyal to me. Because Trump is, people talk about 5D chess, that he's 5 moves ahead. I don't know what goes on in his brain. I just know that he deserves to have his term back. And these turncoat Republicans running against him, and of course, the saddest one for me is DeSantis. DeSantis should have been like, look, I'm sitting this out. Trump deserves to have his term back. That's what DeSantis should have said. That would have given so much love and support to DeSantis that he would have been the automatic front runner for 2028. Like, there would be nobody else we would support because he did the right thing and was like, I'm not running because Trump deserves his term. But look, they're going to do everything they can to make sure Trump is never president again. But what we've got to do when he gets the nomination, because he will get the nomination and it's not even going to be close. And now all of these candidates are going to bifurcate the vote and split the vote up even more, that Trump is going to get certainly a plurality in each primary. And if not outright a majority, and it might go to runoffs in certain states, but whatever, he's going to win the nomination and it's not even going to be close. So after that happens, Trump is going to be, right now he sees the board very clearly. He knows who he can have in his cabinet, who is willing to, who is loyal, who can be trusted. And there's one candidate that I think is running simply to get in the cabinet, and that is Vivek Ramaswamy, which I am not opposed to. I think Vivek Ramaswamy is absolutely phenomenal. It would be such an interesting thing to see him on the ticket, maybe. He would make a fantastic vice presidential nominee or a president one day. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think that's why he's running. But to the other people who were either in the Trump cabinet or were Trump loyalists back in the day, the fact that you're running against this guy now, it's no bueno. It's no bueno. It's not a good look to the American people and to the people that support President Trump and think he got robbed and screwed and he deserves his term back. So that's where I'm going to leave that. But look, keep your eyes open for the impending indictments, because maybe they'll throw out an indictment for Hunter for something small just so Joe Biden can pardon him and then they can get rid of Joe Biden. That's coming too. The guy trips over invisible sandbags now and trips up the stairs and falls off bikes. Doesn't know where he is, shaking his hands with invisible people. Like, this guy he's on his way out. We all know it. We all know what's happening here. So eyes open, everybody. Eyes open. All right, you are listening to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. I will be right back.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit: Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, The only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, why and how Texas will leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Angela Box Show. I'm Angela Box. I'm really excited to have with me my very first Turning Point USA guest. Turning Point is a new sponsor of the show, and they were very kind to give me the great Morgonn McMichael from Turning Point USA. So welcome, Morgonn, to the Angela Box Show.
I am so glad to be here. Thank you for having me on, Angela.
Yeah, so we were just talking off camera. I never get tired of talking about the left's indoctrination of children and their obsession with putting sexualized content in front of kids for some reason. But you evidently were one of the first people that went viral with the stuff with Target. So tell everyone what happened and low clap.
It was definitely unexpected. I just walked into a Target store one day, took a video, and I saw the tucking bathing suit and the binding top and just like the trans lives matter, all the random t-shirts that were created. And then it made me even more angry come to find out that there was a satanic designer behind a lot of the pieces. And then come to find out that they were actually Target itself was funding Pride LGBTQ education directly for children. So as the last couple of weeks have gone on, I have just been shocked and blown away with the response. I mean, now Target's lost over $12 billion, and we saw the Bud Light situation. And really, it just makes me so angry that these corporate companies think they can get away with indoctrinating our next generation and putting this type of material, especially in front of children. So it's been a wild couple of weeks, and I really just want to put a stop to these corporations of being able to sell these types of merchandise, especially targeting kids.
Well, listen, you give me hope because, as I say, when Gen Z takes over, gird your loins, America and world. But, people like you give me hope. Do more people, because you're Gen Z, and Gen Z is, notoriously woke and clutching their pearls over all this. So have you found that there are more people coming to your side because of the hard push to kids, and they're waking up to this?
I've seen some Gen Zers. I will say a large part of our generation, they're in the college system. They're being indoctrinated themselves as young adults still. And so it is a little scary looking towards the future, but I do still have hope for the next generation, which is why I do what I do, being with Turning Point USA as a contributor. I'm just able to use my voice and really help Gen Z wake up and be undoctrinated, because they've gone through systemic, I don't think about systemic racism. Think about the systemic indoctrination that has been going on over the last 2 decades under parents' noses and not knowing really what their kids are learning in school. So I do see hope for Gen Z. There are a lot of Gen Zers coming out, like with the Young Women's Leadership Summit, thousands of women that are going to be gathered learning about America and why we need to have American pride and not LGBTQ pride this month is going to be awesome. But I do have hope for our next generation, and I think that we just need more people like us speaking out. Parents need to be proactive with the school boards, and our generation needs to stop fearing cancel culture, because at the end of the day, cancel culture is what fuels their fire.
Absolutely. You'd have when they come at you, you're like, and so you just have to say, I don't care, and I'm gonna keep going. And I love that Turning Point, certainly Turning Point USA has been on my radar for as long as it's been in existence. And it's so gratifying to see this grassroots movement grow into such a force that it has. And, I think Target and these other woke companies, Adidas and Kohl's with the my baby is trans onesie. I mean, they're starting to feel the wrath of normal Americans. And it gives me hope that maybe they're going to be pulling back, because I think Benny Johnson had a video a couple of days ago when he went through Target and he was like, yep, it's gone. So Target seems to be listening. Oh, I'm having a hard, I can't hear you. I can, it's like echoey. Well, I'll just keep talking. Until, Benny Johnson the other day, for those of you that don't know, Benny Johnson's a really popular podcaster. And he went to Target and basically saw that all the Pride stuff. Yeah, I can hear you now. Saw that all the Pride stuff was gone. And he was like, yay, victory.
Yay. Yes, I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
But it's absolutely crazy seeing how these corporations have really listened to their consumers with what's been going on, because I think a lot of companies have seen now what happened with Target, what happened with Bud Light. And so they fear that happening to their own companies themselves. And so they are taking down the Pride logos off their social media. They're not posting as outwardly prideful things because they don't want to lose billions of dollars too. And I think that's why us consumers need to keep the pressure on these companies and tell them stop doing this to the kids, because that's the thing. And I also think these companies are doing it for an ulterior motive outside of just feeling woke. It's also the ESG scores, because the more diversity, equity, and inclusion that they have, the CEI, it all goes back to their ESG scores. So as companies, they're going to be rated higher for being more woke. So they don't care, a lot of them, if they're going to be losing money, and they're just doing it for the higher ups. I know a lot of Target employees have come out saying, like, yeah, we didn't like the collection, but managers don't listen to us. And so it's really crazy to see what is going on in our country. It's 2023 and we're worrying about pride flags. And that's what's really crazy, is how did we allow our country to get to this place in the first place?
Well, if you listen to what Larry Fink of BlackRock said, and he makes no bones about it. He said, listen, we have to drag the American people kicking and screaming along with our agenda, the race agenda and the gender ideology crap. And the American people are like, not so fast. I think the best thing, the only good thing that came out of the Rona was the fact that the parents got to hear what the hell was going on being taught to their kids. And of course, that's how it got started, with Joe Biden stepping in and calling parents domestic terrorists. And, now the crazy Pride people, the alphabet people, are calling anyone that is pushing back on this, domestic terrorists, threatening to bomb targets. You're not hearing about that on the news. I wonder why.
No, it's absolutely crazy, because I think a lot of good things did happen from 2020 and the corona happening in our world, because yes, parents were listening to what their kids were being taught. And if it weren't for that, I think the indoctrination would be going a lot further than it is, because now you have the school boards that are having to show the curriculum that is being taught. What is this gender ideology being taught to kindergartners all the way through seniors in high school? And that's what people don't realize, is it's not just sex ed in high school that's being taught to these kids. It's starting as young as kindergarten, with the books that are in the classrooms, the books that are being read. I mean, American flags have been ripped from some classrooms. You're told it's okay to sit during the national anthem. And what happened to loving a country and teaching our next generation and our kids not what the country can do for them, but what they can do for their country and to serve the country and make it a better place? And so we've really started to lose sight of those core American values. And the more that I see these public education schools posting about Pride Month, especially this month, a lot of Pride things have been coming out about public schools. I mean, really, it's just pushing more for homeschooling. And it's a great homeschool ad for parents out there, because at this point, I don't even know who wants to send their kids to the public school system, knowing that starting in kindergarten, you'll be met with pride flags in the classrooms, the gay BCs, and all of these other ridiculous books.
Yeah, the problem is, of course, is that the people that can pull their kids out will. And so who's left? The lower socioeconomic, a high minority population. I mean, they're really set on indoctrinating the next generation. I mean, it's straight out of the Communist Handbook. It's one of the pillars of communism. Start with the kids. And I talk about this on my show a lot. We are really, as a culture, I think an amalgam of both 1984 and Brave New World. And in Brave New World especially, they talked highly about sexualizing children. And people need to go back and read Brave New World, because it was actually written before 1984. And the idea that we need to teach anal sex to kindergartners. And, when Ron DeSantis put up the bill to stop sexualized content in front of K through third, they gaslit everyone. The don't say gay thing, the Disney jumped in. It's like, they have to gaslight. They have to lie, because when you tell people what they're actually doing, they're like, well, I'm not for that. And then they have no response. So they just try and terrorize everybody.
Absolutely. And then you have companies like Disney that are explicitly, implicitly indoctrinating kids through the media. So think about it. A kid, you see all these kids that are on iPads, they can't fully be monitored by their parents at all times. So our next generation is fully consuming this media, not just in schools, not just in preschool now, but also on the phones, on the iPads, YouTube Kids. I once went on YouTube Kids and just looked up gay. If a 5-year-old's told, yeah, you could be gay, and they just look that up on YouTube Kids, the videos that pop up are absolutely astonishing. There are now content creators, adults, that are making this type of content directly targeting children. So it's not just Disney, it's not just Nickelodeon, but it's every single type of media company that is targeting children. And it's crazy that you mentioned communism, because with Turning Point, I'll go to college campuses and interview college students and say, hey, what are your thoughts? Socialism or capitalism, communism or capitalism, what's better? And the amount of students who actually believe that communism is going to save our country and it just hasn't been done the right way is absolutely insane. There are actually people that live in one of the freest countries of the world with the innumerable amounts of opportunity in America, yet they will sit there and to help other people. It's absolutely absurd that a lot of these college students have been truly brainwashed.
They've been brainwashed. It's like, listen, do you know in Venezuela, they have to literally go to the zoos and eat zebras because there's no food, and the government has taken over the oil wells and they have no energy anymore. Like, these people, like, they're dumb. They're dumb. I mean, there's a lot of dumb, and they need people to be very dumb. I like to say these leftists need people fat, lazy, dumb, woke, confused, and compliant. If they can get those 6 things, man, they're going for it. And we've got to be not afraid to expose. We've got not afraid to humiliate these people. I love what you're doing. You're a much nicer person than me, I can tell. So maybe one day we can go tag team on a college campus together.
No, it's really crazy seeing this stuff. I mean, I would beg for anybody who wants socialism or capitalism to go to Cuba or Venezuela. I would love for any of these people that are talking about women don't have women's rights and we need more human rights to go to a country in the Middle East and, show their hair, show their fair skin, and see what happens over there, because truly America is the greatest country of the world. We have so much opportunity here. And I think it's one of those things of a lot of people just lack perspective and have no idea what they have until it's gone.
Yeah, we've got Dr. Rachel Levine and Karine Jean-Pierre, celebrating Pride Month in the White House as the whole world goes to crap. And this is what they're focused on, putting a pride flag on all the American embassies, putting a pride flag right under the American flag, because evidently, 3 to 5%, it used to be 3 to 5% were gay and lesbian. I'm old enough to remember when GLAAD just had the G and the L and the AAB. Now they need to add to the acronym. But like that, this is what we're focused on. We're a laughing stock around the world.
Now in Rockefeller Center, they replaced every single country flag with pride flags in New York City. And it's just a sea of pride flags. It is absolutely absurd. And just, what's the point? What happened to American pride? We need to get back to honestly the 60s. I feel like we're a great era in American history of just
but this is when it started to go bad, Morgan.
That is true. That is true. But people, I feel like, loved America and had appreciation for the country way more back then.
All right, we're out of time. Please let everyone know how they can reach you and support your work.
You can find me on Turning Point USA anywhere. If you can spell my name, you'll find me, Morgonn, and it's just Morgan.
It's not Morgonn, it's just Morgan. Morgan, wonderful to have you on the Angela Box Show. I hope you will be back. And ladies and gentlemen, I will be right back. You're listening to the Angela Box Show. See you in a minute.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm, the RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Welcome back to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. Okay, in June I've been promising that we're going to do this What Fresh Hell Awaits Us in Pride Month this week, and I'm going to get to that, but I want to just tell a funny little kind of something I learned about myself recently. You know, I basically get fired from every job I've ever had, and I'm not exaggerating, sadly. Like maybe one or two, I wasn't either fired or asked to leave. I think it's because I have a big mouth and I don't do well with people telling me what to do. I don't know, but whatever. So I've come to the conclusion that basically this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Wrecking leftists, humiliating them, exposing them, and making their lives a living hell. Like, I'm pretty sure that this is literally all I'm able to do. And it's good because I'm good at it and I like doing it. But if this doesn't work out, you guys, look for Angela to be selling oranges on the side of the road with Olga, the Gail to my Oprah. We're going to be hawking those oranges. Be like, hey, didn't you used to have a show, that Angela Box girl? I'm like, would you like an orange today? Would you like to buy some oranges from me? But anyway, I'm kidding, obviously. But am I? No, I'm not, because this is literally the only thing I know how to do, and do it very well, I might add. Okay, so what fresh hell awaits us in Pride Month today, this week? We talked last week about the LA Dodgers. I think I mentioned the LA Dodgers last week, who were having they first said they weren't going to have these totally blasphemous, sacrilegious freaks. The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence is what they're called. These fake nuns that are, you know, basically in drag as nuns, and they weren't going to have them at their Pride night. But then they changed their mind, of course, and they decided to have them at their Pride night. Dodgers celebrate Pride Month with rainbow tweet amid backlash over hosting anti-Catholic drag queens. And if you're watching, you can see this. I mean, this is real bad, okay? It's really bad. I mean, LA Dodgers, happy Pride Month. Like, look, LA Dodgers, Budweiser, all you dummies, North Face, Kohl's, all of you. Who do you really think is buying your stuff? Like, let's just talk about sports teams for a second, shall we? Who watches sports primarily? That's right, straight men. All right, straight men watch sports, and you know you've shoehorned all the girls in for the last 40 years, and that's fine. It's all well and good, but mostly men watch men play sports. They're not sitting there going, "Man, I can't wait for the next WNBA game to happen." No, they watch men playing sports, and they're mostly straight men playing sport, watching sports. Okay, so the way you're trying to shoehorn your agenda into literally everything. You know, Larry Fink of BlackRock, and I mentioned this with Morgan in the last segment. Larry Fink of BlackRock. BlackRock is an investment group. They have, like, you know, trillions of dollars of wealth, whatever. I mean, more money than you could ever count ever. If you started counting now, you could not get to the end by the time you died, basically. So Larry Fink is the head of this place, and Vanguard is another one of these. And they both are advertising now on Fox News. I don't know if you've seen that, but you know, Fox News is like, well, we can't just have Mike Lindell and My Pillow have for advertisers. So I guess we're going to have to fall in line with the BlackRocks and the Vanguards, which are pushing ESG, environmental, social, governmental, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And my friend Faye Ben Cosme, who's running for HISD school board, she said, it should be called, it's not diversity, equity, and inclusion. It should be called division, exclusion, and indoctrination. Excuse me, I can't even say it right. Division, exclusion, and indoctrination. So DEI is now division, exclusion, and indoctrination. I was like, yes, girl. And I'm giving you credit for that because that is good. So, you know, these woke corporations, the reason it's such a hardcore press, and because the reason everything is so upside down and crazy right now is because of people like Larry Fink, who is the head of BlackRock, and he said basically we're gonna have to push this agenda onto the American people, and if we keep pushing it, eventually they'll be okay with it. It's like, no, dude, we're not okay with it. No one's okay with it, and stop it. So let's discuss sorry, my stupid eyelash is falling off. Let's discuss some of the crazy, insane things that are happening. So here's something. I mean, look, half of my notes are the alphabet people stuff. Like I could do 3 hours a day on this crap, and I would not go over. No content would be repeated. All right. So if you're looking on this is from to a fangirl on Instagram. Now she put up some screenshots here. This is from some guy with all the pride flags and the trans flags and the Ukraine flag. I mean, he's got them all. Okay. And I'm surprised there's no like vaccine needle. That would be, he's missing that, hashtag do better. Okay. So here's what he says. To be clear, the age of consent is post-pubescent and always has been. So what is post-pubescent? Post-pubescent can mean as early as, I don't know, some kids have puberty 12, 13 years old. I mean, little TMI here, I got my period when I was 11. All right. So I went through puberty early. So some kids go through puberty early, some kids go through it later. But this guy's trying to say that basically if you're post-pubescent, if you've had your period or you've had your first nocturnal emission, if you're a boy and you have the voice change, etc., then you're able to consent. He continues. Pride Month is about Pride Month is about inclusivity and acceptance of our fellow man. Oh, that's exclusionary, fellow man. It's not about denigrating and othering people based on generational bigotry. So what, and I'll get to his third tweet because it's a doozy. What he's basically leading up to, I don't know what you're kind of understanding this road he's going down. So first he says, post-pubescent kids, they can give consent for sexual activity, and then basically saying we can't denigrate and other people based on generational bigotry, saying, well, because you're attracted to kids, that there's something wrong with you. So he continues. All right, here's the money shot. Pride Month is not just for gays, trans, and MAPS. No matter your color, creed, sexual orientation, or however you were born, be proud of who and what you are. Like, yay. And then people go, wait a minute. What is a MAP? What is an MAP? What is that? What does that little handy acronym stand for? Well, ladies and gentlemen, a MAP is a minor attracted person, otherwise known as a pedophile. So this freak is literally going around, and this is what the transing of kids is all about. This is why the trans have, their part on the flag now, and all the other colors and whatever. The MAPs, the pedophiles, are literally trying to get on the pride flag. They want a color, they want a stripe on the pride flag. And I met with a friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name because he's like, he's part of this like down low conservative group that's of people that you would definitely know in the entertainment industry that are like hardcore conservatives and are trying to go around the system and basically beat these freaks at their own game. But he's gay, and he said, yeah, the pedophiles, they're trying real hard to get a stripe on the pride flag. And his people, the normal gay people and Gays Against Groomers and people like that, people like Brandon Straka of Walk Away, they're like, hell no, you're not getting a stripe on the pride flag. The fact that we have to have people who think that they can change their gender, it's bad enough, okay? But we're not going to have pedophiles going on the trans flag, or excuse me, the trans flags, basically the trans flags. They're not going to have them going on the pride flag. So no, that's not going to happen. Let's see some more pride crap. Morgan mentioned that Target has now lost about, I think, $9 billion. Bud Light is up to like $30 billion. $30 billion. And they keep going, man. They keep going. Here's something that you will not hear or see on any mainstream media, of course, because why would you? It goes against their agenda. Just in, LGBTQ plus leaders threatened to bomb Target stores after the decision was made to remove pride clothing for children. Now, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I will say it every single time. I have zero problem with gay and lesbians. I don't care. I don't even, bisexuals, whatever. I kind of think that men can't really be bisexual. I think women can be. Maybe that's my bias, but I have no problems with gays and lesbians. Zero. Especially the ones that just want to go about live their lives and don't like have their sexuality as the thing that makes them, that identifies who they are as a person. It's just part of who they are. Just like a heterosexual, that's part of what we are, our sexual preference, whatever. It's not like the thing we lead with. It's like, hi, my name's Angela Box and I'm a heterosexual. Like, that's not what we lead with, okay? And most normal gay people don't lead with that either. And of course, the whole thing about Pride and Pride Month and it's all about being proud of being gay or lesbian or whatever. It's like, again, what is there to be proud of? Can you please explain to me why people should be proud of freakish people putting sexualized content and sexualized people in front of children? I don't understand what there is to be proud of. So here's something, again, that you won't hear on the news. Leaders threatened to bomb Target stores after decision to remove pride clothing for children. So in Utah, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, they removed some pride sections, or they moved them to the back of the store. They removed the mannequins of children, and they as they should have. And I mentioned, Benny Johnson has a great video where he went back into Target and he said, victory, all this crap has now been removed. The whole pride section was moved towards the back of the store, and there were no children's mannequins being used. They took away this book about being trans, and look, they're not just doing that though. And Morgonn mentioned this, and we didn't get into it because of the time, but she mentioned these YouTube creators that are going after kids. And if you go on YouTube Kids, honestly, if you go on Netflix right now, if you go on your Netflix, the kids part, it has rainbows on it. When you click the name, it's like, okay, great. YouTube Kids, same thing. They are creating content that kind of cosplays as Peppa Pig or Blue's Clues or whatever kids watch. I don't even know. But in actuality, it's talking about you should inject bleach. You should kill yourself. You should, they show like sexualized content, like, two boys kissing or two girls kissing, and Transformers are doing it. Like they're literally talking about pronouns on Transformers. It's like, stop it. Stop grooming kids. Like, how hard is that? How hard is it to not groom children? I don't understand. I will never understand what this is all about. I mean, look at this, guys. Same thing. Sesame Street. Now, we know Sesame Street is woke. This is not a surprise. They want your children, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sesame Street's tweet. It has a picture of rainbow Muppets holding hands. We've got the red Muppet, and like it looks like Bert and Ernie holding hands with someone else. And I mean, basically, if you could see it, it's a red arm, orange arm, yellow arm, green arm, blue arm, purple arm, and they're all Muppets, holding hands basically. And it looks like Bert and Ernie are in two of them. Sesame Street said this Pride Month, let's celebrate diversity and unity and spread love and acceptance. Together, we can make the world a kinder place for all. Now, guys, again, I'm going to say this again. I don't care if you're gay, but what they are doing is not about love and acceptance. It's not about tolerance. It's about, you will do what we say. You will believe what we believe, or we're going to make your lives a living hell. And you will do as you're told, or again, we're going to make your life a living hell. A couple more things before I go to break. This, I'm sure you've seen. I mean, this is seriously, this I should have led with the what fresh hell awaits us in Pride Month. This is my friend, pregnant transgender man Logan Brown stars on the cover of Glamour's UK Pride issue. So if you can see this, and if you're not watching, you should look this up. Look up Glamour magazine, Logan Brown. This biological woman who's cut off her breasts, but I guess not removed her uterus and her womb, which is weird, right? I mean, I guess hasn't done the whole bottom surgery. This person is pregnant, and Glamour magazine put her on the cover of the Pride issue because she's a woman cosplaying as a man. It's just such demonic crap going on. They're not even trying to hide it. And they're not trying to hide it at all, okay? At all. Now, here's another. So this is not just Target and not just the Pride Month crap they're doing. They are indoctrinating on every level. They're giving money to far left groups who, we know they did the far left gender advocacy, but they also, they've given a ton of money to diversity, equity, and inclusion work. They really ramped it up. So they accelerated its DEI program in response to Black Lives Matter activism under the leadership of its diversity chief, Kiera Fernandez. The chief has demanded that white women get to work to combat the proclaimed systemic racism in America. Guys, it's so gross. It's so sad the way they divide us, the way they other us. Basically, they other us who are not falling in line with this crap. Like, what is this to be proud of? Like, I don't understand. All right, I could keep going on and on, but the clock is telling me to shut up. You are listening to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. I'll be right back.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down, see the share icon, hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
It's no secret about the censorship that big technology companies are practicing as we speak. Are there ways to get around this? For us, at Raging Elephants Radio, and for you, the Raging Elephants Radio app is the way to do that. It gives us direct communication to you with no middleman. No Facebook, no Google, no Twitter. Raging Elephants Radio and you in direct connection. No interception. Beat the censorship. Download the Raging Elephants Radio app.
Welcome back to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. All right, it's the shoehorning segment. It's also going to be known henceforth as the Say Something Nice segment, because I was going to be like, oh, let's have a good news segment, and then I'm like, no, I'll just say something nice. Like when you can't say anything at all, don't say anything, but I'll be like, oh, say something nice. Her hair looks nice today. Hate her, but her hair looks good today. So my conservative hero of the week is none other than Kari Lake. Kari Lake is absolutely amazing, and Kari Lake had her election stolen from her, and everyone knows it. And we've come to find out lots of crazy things. I'm trying to see this. Okay, the Kari Lake legal team now has all the data. Let me share my screen with you so you can see this. So basically, Kari Lake lost her appeal or lost her court case. Of course she did, but she's appealing, and she's basically I'm taking this all the way to the Supreme Court. You're not going to get away with this, Katie Hobbs. Katie Hobbs, who is a psycho leftist, who did not campaign, who has governed like a complete lunatic, opened the border, all that stuff. She's being controlled by who God knows who. But Kari Lake has all kinds of evidence of these people. There was no signature matching, and they were running these signature matching things they were taking 1 to 2 seconds, and that's just not long enough to check a signature matching. And they were basically approving all these signatures because all these mail-in ballots. And they're saying that basically Kari Lake seems saying, look, at least 35,000 of these ballots have, quote, issues of just the signature matching. That's not even all the ballots that I have a problem with. So this is from Rasmussen. Tea leaves. The Kari Lake legal team now has all the data, log files for all the machines, and promises even further revelations. It might be a safe bet that the machines demonstrating the most pronounced failures were wheeled out into the most lake-friendly precincts. Now, of course, the Maricopa County people are like, this is another conspiracy theory, and I'm going to open that screenshot in a minute. How do you know how bad this revelation is for the cheaters? Not a single explanation in over 6 days as to why the machine testing failures in the video are not what they appear to be, a deliberate, premeditated crime. Now, something else that's pretty interesting. They were able to videotape all of this stuff. Now, it's funny because it's almost as if they knew what these people were going to do, what they were going to do to Kari Lake and did to Donald Trump in 2020. So I'm trying to find this here. Where is this? Kari Lake basically is my conservative hero, and she will be the governor one day. And if she's not going to be governor, I could see Trump maybe picking her on the ticket because she's absolutely phenomenal and would be phenomenal. But they're definitely going to like try and Sarah Palin her for sure. I want to go back a little bit to the what fresh hell awaits us in Pride Month, because there's some more stuff here that Nike is up to, that these psychopaths are up to. And I know we can't do all the show on this stuff, but I wanted to talk about this because it's bananas. And then I'm going to try and find some more Kari Lake stuff if I can find it. I have no time. I have 4 minutes left, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Breaking, a leaked email from the inside of Nike and attained by the Real Daily Wire reveals that the company will host a talk with a child sex change surgeon to celebrate Pride Month. Nike will also host a drag queen story time along with several other Pride events. So let's see here. This summer, the Nike United Pride Network has the honor of once again spotlighting and celebrating the past, present, and future of our global LGBTQIA plus community. I need some more acronyms. So they're basically, they're like, oh, we're going to celebrate, blah, blah. Get this. So here's what else. Here's where it gets interesting. Nike will feature Dr. Blair Peters of the Oregon Health and Science University for a July 11th panel discussion. Peters has publicly admitted to performing irreversible sex change operations referred to as, quote, gender-affirming top surgery on adolescent girls. So this is what this guy said. This guy is demonic. And he goes by he and they. Those are his pronouns. He and they. I don't know how that works. Because now also in Dallas, by the way, the city of Dallas has made it a crime for you to misgender someone. If you call some obvious biological man he, and they're like, excuse me, my pronouns are ze and zer and zim today, you could literally get fired. It's the insanity never ends. So this is what this guy said. I performed gender-affirming mastectomies, top surgeries for 3 young adults and adolescents today. All had supportive parents present. You could see the family relief. The second we wheeled back into the OR, I could sense the shift. We made it. We have a chance. That is what these psychopaths at Nike are promoting. It's not okay. It ain't okay. This is so effing crazy and so wrong. I can't stand it anymore. Now, some other stuff that's going on. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is raising a lot of eyebrows because he's looking more and more like a viable candidate for the Democrats. And I will say this, I don't agree with RFK Jr. on everything, obviously. I'm sure there's lots I don't. Like, for example, he thinks that man can control the weather and a lot of other stupid crap. But he was really, really good during COVID, and he had his personal Instagram taken down during the Rona. Join the club. But the fact that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., such a huge public figure, when he was talking about the vaccines and all the stuff that's going on, that he was deplatformed. He is making major waves in the Democrat Party. I think he's very handsome, I will say. And again, he's like the one Democrat I think I could stomach, which means he probably won't get the nomination. But then again, Democrats, there's like 20% of Democrats now that are saying they're going to support Kennedy. I mean, there's a reason why the demented old sack of potatoes Peepaw is not going to do debates, and it's because he doesn't want to debate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He doesn't want to have to get up there without notes or people writing things down for him and telling him what questions to ask which reporter and having the answers ready. He doesn't have to debate anybody, okay? Much less Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That is going to be a very, very interesting thing to watch, because RFK Jr. is a very attractive candidate. He said that he wants to permanently shut the border with Mexico. It's like, hey, Trump didn't even say that. I'm like, hey, I'm all for that. Can we get some of that? Yes, please. And he said that the Second Amendment is settled. He's not coming after anyone's guns. So again, this is the kind of Democrat, the kind of Joe Manchin type of Democrat that I think that should be worrying Democrats, because he could put a real kibosh on the woke agenda the Democrats have shoehorned onto us. And that is my say something nice, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr., although he's a Democrat and he thinks the man can control the weather like all alchemists did, I like to joke that these wokesters are the modern day alchemists, because alchemists in the Middle Ages thought they could turn literal human feces into gold. And so, instead of turning crap into gold, these psychopaths think that they control the weather, and that you can change your gender, and you can change your race, and you can change your ethnicity, and you can change your species if you want to. And I'm gonna close my show today with a really funny story. So I have a friend, I will not name her name, told her I wouldn't. She's on vacation with another family, and she's like, oh my God, their daughter says she's identifying as a furry. If you don't know what a furry is, it's basically someone who thinks they're an animal, like a dog or something. And so she walks around, she wears like a fur costume. I'm not making this up. And, the parents are like, look, we're just so happy. She's like enjoying herself and found something she's interested in. It's like, no, hell no. And my friend is like, I did not accommodate her. I said, I don't want to hear anything about this. I don't want to hear anything about this. And basically shut this girl down and put her in check. And this is the deal that's what's going on. And the parents are like, oh, she's so depressed. Oh, it's like, well, listen, the reason your daughter is depressed is because she doesn't have parents that will put her in check, that will give her guardrails, that will say, you're not doing this. This is insane. Let's have you talk to someone about what's going on with you, because you're not identifying as a dog, okay? That's not going to happen. You're not a dog. That's insane. But instead of putting guardrails on her and putting her in check, they are allowing this to go on. They are engaging with this. They are not necessarily encouraging it, but they're like playing along with her delusion. And so this delusion continues to grow, and the girl keeps getting more and more depressed because she doesn't have parents that love her enough to say no. And that is the end. At the end of the day, that is what's going on. These kids are not being told, no, you're not doing this. No, this is not happening in this house. No, you cannot change your gender. No, you cannot change your race. No, you cannot change your species. It's not happening under this roof. And if more parents would put their feet down, this crap would not be happening. And the indoctrination that you're seeing in the schools would not be happening, because we would have parents putting an end to it even quicker than they are now. But there are not enough parents doing that. They're just not, because we keep seeing this crap. All right, guys, that is my time. You've been listening to Angela's Soapbox on Raging Elephants Radio. Please follow me on my social medias: Instagram, Twitter at The Box That Rocks, Facebook is Angela Box Public, BitChute, Rumble, YouTube at Angela Soapbox, Truth Social is at Angela Box. When in doubt, go to angelasoapbox.com. Until next time, everybody, please remember, keep kicking ass and taking names. Peace.